Okay, now tell me about the hash bars.
So what do you want to know?
Well, hash is legal there, right?
I mean, yeah, it's legal, but it ain't 100% legal. I mean, you can't walk into a restaurant, roll up a joint and start puffing away. You're only supposed to smoke in your home or certain designated places.
Those are hash bars?
Yeah, see, it breaks down like this. It's legal to buy it, it's legal to own it, and if you're a proprietor of a hash bar, it's legal to sell it. It's legal to carry, which doesn't really matter because, you know what? The cops can't stop you. It's illegal for them to search you. Searching you is a right that the cops of Amsterdam don't have.
That did it. Man, I'm fucking going. That's all there is to it.
You'll dig it the most. But you know what's the funniest thing about Europe?
What?
It's the little differences. I mean, a whole lot of the same shit we got here, they got there. But they're just a little different.
Examples?
Well, in Amsterdam, you can buy beer in a movie theater. And I don't mean no paper cup either. They give you a glass of beer, like in a bar. Like in Paris, you can buy beer at McDonald's. Also, hey man, you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Nah, see, they got the metric system. They know what the fuck a quarter pounder is.
What'd they call it?
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. What'd they call a Big Mac?
Well, Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it La Big Mac.
La Big Mac. What do they call a Whopper?
I don't know. I didn't go to fucking Burger King. But you know what they put on French fries in Holland instead of ketchup?
What?
Mayonnaise.
God damn.
I seen them do it, man. I don't mean a little bit on the side. They fucking drown them in it.
Ugh. Hello, everyone. Thank you. That was good.
That was pretty good.
That was not bad.
That was not like our last time.
Yeah. That was I appreciate that cold open. Welcome, everybody,
Howdy.
to the latest installment of Egg in a Bottle. I am your co-host, Kyle Watts, with my boy, Mark Ortega. He's been doing that. So been testing the levels. What you just heard there, if you're not aware, and you should be, was a conversation between Jules and Vincent from the film Pulp Fiction, discussing Vincent's trip to Europe and the adventures therein. I could go for a whole movie of that. And I could also go for a whole podcast like this, which is why we're here.
Damn straight.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
I am, I feel like I've been here since 8 in the morning because I
have.
have.
Me too, man. Yeah, I've been here all day. Ugh.
It's also the problem of, like, it was really cold this morning and it was freezing yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And there's some sketchy business going on outside, and I don't mean that.
What do you mean that?
No.
What do you? You mean like global warming?
Yeah, there's some business going on outside.
There's some business going
and
on.
I'm not a big
Some
fan
ancient
of it.
god is not happy with
no,
us.
he's not.
No, sir.
Not at all.
Is there a god of ice?
Yeah, I believe his name is Iceman.
Isn't it Sub-Zero?
Something like that.
Okay.
Frozone.
I'm out of ice-related heroes.
What's the Batman villain?
Mr. Freeze?
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
How do you slip my mind? The most obvious one.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. But it is cold outside.
Cold as dick.
Yeah. Baby,
If dick
it's
were
cold outside.
That song's about sexual assault.
Baby, it's cold outside.
You know there's a line in that where she goes, "Hey, what's in my drink?" There is. It's so gross.
Really?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's a weird song.
Strange era.
Correct.
Strange
Correct.
era. Very interesting era, though.
I mean, if you think sexual assault is interesting.
That's not what I mean. This is not what I mean.
I know it's not what you meant.
But
oh god. Oh, in case you guys haven't noticed, it's just us today.
yes, sir.
Just the boys.
Just the boys. We wanted to do something a little different.
Something a little more intimate.
Something a little. God, get the music. Purr. No, but we kind of wanted to do a somewhat of a soft reboot of the show because
A Bumblebee style soft reboot.
yeah, because I mean it's not that we were displeased with the way things were going in the 12 weeks prior, because we're not. We're really. However, we are very proud of what we've done, and but we just want to make it better for you guys, and for you, the 10 who listen. I mean, I'm not even being like flippant about it. Like 10 people at least consistently listen to this program, And I thank you very much.
I claim at least one of them because it's me. One of them's me.
Oh, thank you,
One
Mark.
of them's you're welcome.
Thank you, Mark. I do comment on the video sometimes.
You're the only one that comments. This is hilarious to me. You're like, best video, question mark?
It's always the best video.
It's killer.
But, so in this new soft reboot thing, we want to put the program up on
iTunes,
Spotify,
wherever
if
we can get it up.
And I want to say that on air, so we're kind of forced to do it because I feel like me and Mark have been talking about this for a while, but neither one of us has had the inclination, time, or the drive to figure it out and how to do it. We just keep putting it up on YouTube with all the little problems therein with the little ums and the O's and the
Yikes.
empty space, things that really kind of aggravate me, but apparently not enough to aggravate me to do anything about it until now. As far as like if anything's gonna change, not really. I mean, I talked to Georgia yesterday actually.
Really?
I saw her on campus, yeah, and I was like, hey, do you want to like be on the show again? And and she was like, yeah, of course. And we might change up the days that we record these, which shouldn't affect just simply to compensate for different guests. Like if Georgia wants to be on one day, and we might just change when we do it because it doesn't really matter what day we do it, just so long as we do it at 2:30, which is about the time we do it. So yeah, we might change that, but that shouldn't affect you guys in any way.
Because I'll still wait till Friday to upload.
Yeah, like we'll still put it off and put it off. Because me and Mark are gonna try to edit these things a little bit to make it a bit more of a pleasant listening experience. Instead of 2 hours and 45 minutes, where 40 minutes of it's kind of crap. Maybe we'll just put up the 2 hours or something like that. But anyway,
God, see, you'd cut that. You would cut that.
Yeah, I would.
I wouldn't because I think it all adds up. But whatever.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I think it's a case-by-case basis.
Correct.
As far as the third host, all I can tell you is that me and Mark are going to be the two consistent members on here. And for some of you, it's going to make you run to the hills, and that's fine.
However,
if you do stick around, me and Mark are going to be, your two consistent hosts, which we kind of have been for the entire run thus far. And we'll have different people on. Like I want to have my friend Demetrius on at some point, which you met, Mark, I believe. I think you were there.
I think so. Couldn't tell you.
We got some people who wanted to be on today, but we knew we were doing this sort of
solo gig,
so we were like, not this time.
AJ, Bo, you'll be on eventually.
You will, I promise.
Sorry about today.
Yeah, it's just it wasn't a good time. We were we've also discovered that 4 is a bit of a crowd.
Oh, 4 is no offense to Austin or Richard.
No, none.
But 4 is crazy.
None whatsoever.
We've only got 3 mics.
Yeah, and it's only because it's the logistics of it. It's our fault because we didn't, we aren't prepared for 4 people.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
And and I would not blame Rich or Austin if they were disappointed with our setup.
Blame Austin.
Why?
I don't know. I don't give him shit.
He fought for your country, my man.
He'll listen to this and be like, Mark, what the hell, bro?
No, we loved having him, and we want him to have back because I want to talk to Rich about Akira.
I still need to watch that.
I will bring it to you. We'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you tomorrow. Bring it to you tomorrow.
Nice.
And I want to have Austin back on at some point.
Talk about the war.
Well, I honestly do. Like, I want to
learn about his
learn about his experiences. I think that's interesting. So I'm very interested in like vet culture and like vets coming home and the kind of welcomes they receive, because I wouldn't say we're hostile to vets as much. Like we're not like Vietnam hostile or anything like that, but I do think it would serve us as citizens to kind of understand a little bit more and at least let them know we're listening. We will listen if you want to tell me about it. No, I don't know if he's experienced horrible things. I'm not sure. I don't know that much about what he did over there. But I just think
he hasn't been over there yet.
Well, yeah, I know, but like I don't know if he's like if he's
in boot camp.
Yeah. Well,
I've seen a man lose 3 out of his 4 limbs.
Well, I'm sure. I don't know if like by the time we have him on next time, he'll have been over there at some point. And I don't know. Some
combat
people,
experience.
Yeah. So some people it doesn't affect them. I'm sure some people aren't affected by it very much at all. But I'm sure they have stories anyway. But So that's kind of on the docket. Other than that, business as usual. For the most part.
Yeah, just was. Now, when you say business, it's really just like fucking around for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Which is fine.
I dig it.
A couple of guests we're obviously gonna have on some more. We're gonna have Tristan on. We're gonna have Hannah on again, I'm sure. So yeah, it'll just be a constantly shifting third chair, which is
The old revolving third.
the revolving third chair, which is a quote from, I believe it's from the PlayStation Beyond podcast back in the day.
What?
Mark did some of his eyes that really,
I just went cross-eyed.
yeah, it really freaked me out. I've never seen, you do
Dude,
this.
because it hurts.
But
Oh,
yeah,
no.
so that's kind of where we're at right now. But for this episode proper, I kind of want to. I don't want to say it's a more intimate episode of Egg in a Bottle, and by
Hell
that I
yeah.
mean, oh yeah,
My pants are off.
my pants are wet.
Oh, God.
And by that I mean I had a plan of discussion for today. I even brought some books to assist my discussion, but
I did not.
which is fine.
And normal.
But I wanted to talk with Mark about really whatever we end up talking about, but kind of where I want to put us on track towards. The track I want to put us on is, on this podcast, we talk a lot about entertainment. And
See,
the first 4 or 5 episodes are just us
listing things.
listing our favorite pieces of media
Correct.
that we'd have experienced in our life, but we never really talked about what specifically in entertainment and in storytelling, like what about them stuck with us. Because I mean, there are things I like, but they don't stick with me, but then there are things that, like, I'm not even sure I like it, but it sticks with me.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then there are things I just marvel at, and it pisses me off that it's so good, because I'm like this is it.
How
you know?
dare you be so goddamn perfect?
Yeah, like I remember reading. I'm sure I've told this on the podcast before, but I remember reading King Lear, and I got to the last line, and I wanted to chuck the book out the window because I was pissed off. I was like, "What the fuck?"
This is perfect. I can't go up now.
Yeah, like the bar's been set, and I'm never gonna get close to it. But, sorry about
I'm
that.
gonna cut this.
Yeah, that's one of the big cuts we'll put in. But so Mark,
What's up?
if you want to start it out,
Oh shit.
or I could start it out. if you
No.
want.
I can start. It doesn't matter.
So tell me a little bit about what is it you look for in a story that, like, not necessarily something you like, because I mean we'll be here all day just listing things. I like, protagonists with beards. And I don't mean like something like that, but I mean like
It's purely sexual. It's fine.
I mean like, what about a piece of fiction makes it stick with you? Any piece of fiction.
I'm cutting on this dead air. I'm thinking.
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah. We need it. What's the word? Cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
Clean up the dirt.
Yeah.
Fuck, this is kind of hard. I should have thought about this before the podcast.
That's all right. Maybe it'd be easier if, like, I gave you something I know you like. Okay, so
Got you.
I know you like Power Rangers.
Hi.
So why?
Sorry.
And I don't mean so much. And I really want to pick your brain about this. Like, what about it? God, didn't we plan to do this like weeks ago?
I think we did.
We had a plan like this
Because
anyway.
you were like always. You're like, why does Mark like Power Rangers so much?
Yeah.
Why does he keep fucking talking about
But
it?
but we never like actually had a discussion
Yeah.
about it. So let's start there. Like, what
Okay.
about Power Rangers has made it stick with you for so long?
Okay, well, I have an answer for this. I already have an answer, which is great. The thing about Power Rangers and any team-based, even if it's not a superhero thing, I always from the get-go have loved the idea of people coming together for a common goal, right?
Right.
As corny as that may sound, I love it. I love when people from different, different social groups, different places on the planet, different races, religion, whatever, they put aside those differences. Like, hey, we need to do this. Let's come together. Let's stop being pussy. Let's just do it. And Power Rangers, whether you think it's a kid show or not, it does that. It teaches that to kids that, hey, teamwork and working with your friends and not, holding people to certain things is very important as an adult in life and whatever. And I like that a lot. I like teamwork, dude.
You like teamwork.
I like teamwork.
That is the teamwork show.
This is the teamwork show. It's
This-
like Voltron, but I guess.
Well, the thing that's always struck me about Power Rangers is, I mean, obviously it's corny. Well, see, I don't want to say...
No, it is.
But
it definitely is.
There's a difference, because I was going to say corny, but what I really mean is campy.
He's campy.
And there's a difference, because campy is not bad.
No.
Corny's, depending on who you ask. But campy's not inherently a bad thing to me, because, like, I've been playing Resident Evil 2, and that's a campy-ass game, but I still love it, you know? Metal Gear Solid, a lot of people love it. I'm not the biggest Solid fan, to be honest with you, but people love that series, and, you know, it's very campy.
Isn't his stealth mode, he just puts a cardboard box over him and, like, walks?
That is a way you can play the game.
Man,
but that's kind of like
tell me it's not some Power Ranger shit. I swear to God.
It really is. Well, I mean, like, and there's even in, like, Metal Gear Solid 5 where you can, like, spray paint, like, naked girls on it to, like, distract guards and stuff like
That's
that.
so funny.
And they'll, like, run up to you and you can, like, just judo flip them.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, which, other than that about Power Rangers, like, I always felt personally kind of intimidated by going into it because I didn't know where to start.
Well, the great thing about it is that it's not like Marvel, where if you miss 17 movies before, you're totally lost. Each season is standalone.
So it's like the season begins at the beginning.
Correct.
And then the season ends, and that's the end.
Yeah. Like, there's not... Well, like, the first 4 seasons are what's known as the Saban... No, it's the Zordon era, because they're all based around, you know, that character to some degree.
Right.
I think all the way through, from Mighty Morphin, the first season, to In Space, which I think is 5, those are connected. Like, when Mighty Morphin ends... Zeo starts. When Zeo... I can't believe that I'm remembering these names off the top of my head. When Zeo ends, Turbo starts, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But after that, when it starts going, when it was owned by, like, Disney and Saban, each season, there might be, like a small reference to other seasons. Like, if you get it, you're fine. But your enjoyment and your understanding is not based off the previous season at all.
So is it the same, like, is it the same story every season? Like, okay, these are our new Power Rangers. This is how they get there. Is it like that, or is it like some seasons show the origin, some seasons start out, oh, they're already Power Rangers?
Yes.
So that's, okay.
Some seasons are different. Some seasons are very different. One of the seasons, RPM, which is regarded as one of the best seasons in terms of, like, storytelling and, like, the character work. When we start the season, 3 out of the 5 are already in. Like, they've been doing it for, like, a year.
Right.
And focus of the first 3 episodes are Green and Black learning how to be, you know, Power Rangers and becoming a team and all that. And then there are some where you get these characters from the beginning. They know jack shit and they have to learn.
Right. Now, which do you prefer? Do you prefer, like, the start halfway through, or because I bet you've seen the origin like so many times, you're kind of like sick of it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're all different, but at the same time, it's basically the same thing. You know, it's like these group of kids happen to be at the right place at the right time. They find either it's like a gem or something. It's always some shit buried. Like, dude, we're the Power Rangers. It's weird because in some seasons they know what the Power Rangers are, and sometimes they don't, which is fine, I guess.
So it's like they're like, whoa, we're Power Rangers now. So it's almost like Power Rangers exist in this universe before the characters become...
Correct. So in that instance, I guess all of them connect, but it's not like you have to know, you know, the villain from the 5th season behind to get this one. It's like, whatever.
Right. Is there any, like, Power Ranger stuff available on Netflix or Prime Video?
Every season
for real
of Power Rangers is on Netflix right now.
Is that true?
Yes.
Every
season.
I might look into it because I've always been on the boundary of these, like, morning cartoon toy shows. Because, like, when I was growing up, SpongeBob was the thing, and Disney Channel, and
Ben 10, Danny Phantom,
things like that, Teen Nick, and, you know, iCarly and stuff like that. These shows that, you know, I have a lot of memories with, but I fully acknowledge, you know, they're not good. Except SpongeBob. SpongeBob's like the first 3.
Ben 10 is amazing.
Well, Ben 10 too, yeah.
Yeah.
But the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob are like exceptional.
Now it's
it's like it's been a long time since I watched SpongeBob, but ever since I think Steven Hillenburg left.
Really?
I think he's dead now.
Yeah, I'm like, he died.
Yeah, he died recently.
So I guess he did leave.
ALS. They're actually doing the Band Geeks song at the Super Bowl.
Are they really?
I think they're doing it because Roger Bombas, who voices Squidward, is introducing Maroon 5.
Better do it, bro.
Yeah, I hope they do, and I hope it's not just like a little like Sweet victory.
No, like full out.
Yeah, I want the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I hope they start the show that way. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
I especially love they got Squidward's voice actor to do it.
That's cool, yeah.
To do the whole let's get this over with. But yeah, so but I've always wanted. I never watched Transformers. I never watched G.I. Joe. I never watched these.
I was never a big G.I. Joe fan either.
Really?
Seems weird.
It's very. It's.
I say it,
yeah.
like me of all people saying it sounds weird, but it's so weird.
Yeah. But like I never personally got into these. Frankly, these shows that were made to sell toys. In a lot of ways, and I know that it's a bit different than that, but
nowadays. But before it was just to sell toys.
Exactly, and I wonder, like, because I'm more patient. Because as I know, if I watched it when I was a kid, I'd probably be like, this sucks. But I'm
like 7. Like, there's no character development in this.
Yeah. No, and like I was, if it had to. I don't know. I had the specific taste when I was younger, where it was like it really limited what I watched, but like I was really obsessed with playing the Call of Duty campaigns. Like
8.
Yeah, like I'm serious. I would like wake up in the morning before school and just like sit on my brother's Xbox and just play, storm through these campaigns that felt like 40 hours, but they're really like 8.
See, I'd wake up before school and hurry up and flip on the TV so I wouldn't miss the new episode of Power Rangers.
Yeah, and I did that, for a time too. I would watch cartoons. I would watch like Robot Boy. I don't know if you remember that one.
Robot Boy.
It's Robot Boy. That's what he sounds like. And I'd watch. What else did I watch? God, what else did I watch? I think it was Ben 10, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Batman the Brave and the Bold.
That was good. Actually.
That was a great show. And I want to say, what was another one? Fuck. Basically, I watched because for a couple months they would be like, okay, from 7 to 7:30 is this cartoon that's playing, and then in a couple months they'd switch it. So like I would just watch whatever was on, and I'd get attached to that. It's just kind of how I did it. Unless I wanted to play video games that morning or whatever.
You're right.
Gears of War or something like that. God, I was
before first grade class. You had to play some Gears of War.
I was playing Gears of War in like 3rd grade.
Jesus Christ,
yeah, it was insane.
That's crazy.
Gears of War 2 was the first game I ever heard the word "fuck" in a video game. It was.
That's fair.
I mean, me and my brother, when we heard it, we just looked at each other.
You're like, dude, what did you say?
Did he really? Like
he just said "fuck."
I actually remember playing Dante's Inferno too.
You played that game? I never played.
When I was
seems insane.
It is insane. And it's massively inappropriate.
Oh yeah.
And like I was like playing it when I was in like 3rd grade and 4th grade. And I was like, every time my mom would walk into the room, I'd like stand in front of the TV to like kind of block what was happening. And like, I never ended up beating it because it's just too much pressure to hide what I was doing. No, I wouldn't care now, but now I don't play it because it was a good game, but it was like, it was like God of War, like the old God of War games. When the hack 'em slash combo type games were a thing.
Yep.
And but anyway, so I want to try out Power Rangers for the reason that I want to see if maybe that, because even like last year I wasn't a big campy guy. Like I didn't care for campy stuff. I didn't like Japanese works.
Really?
A lot
like
of well, other than like live action stuff by Akira Kurosawa, Kenji Mizoguchi. I'm butchering his name, but it's like he's a director. His name's Kenji something.
Okay.
And he made really good movies. Guys like cinema in like the golden age of cinema when these guys were working. Akira Kurosawa is one of my favorite directors of all time, and he's made at least 2 of my favorite movies of all time: Seven Samurai and The Bad Sleep Well.
Nice.
I think those movies are exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
But I never got with the anime. I watched a little bit of Attack on Titan, and I only stuck with it because of how massively violent it was.
Jesus Christ.
And it felt kind of taboo. Like even then, like it felt kind of taboo to be watching this.
I love watching these big people eat these small people.
Well, yeah, it was like it was very strange. It was my first interaction with these types of things, and it was also kind of campy though. So I was kind of
corny.
I don't really like it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get with, like, when I tried to play Metal Gear Solid, couldn't do it. I tried to play Final Fantasy recently.
I can't play those Japanese genre of games. I just can't.
I can't either.
Like, even like something simple as like the menus are weird and all the settings to play, like all the inventories are weird. I'm like, I don't get how this is enjoyable.
I like the games mostly until the characters open their mouths. Then I'm like, okay.
Wow, okay. Nice bad dubs.
Well, it's like, and I think I really do think it helps sometimes to have the Japanese, just listen to the Japanese voices. Because they clearly, the dialogue was written to sound better in their language. And, when it's translated to English, it doesn't always sound very good.
I think Dragon Ball Z sounds better when it's dubbed terribly.
Really?
I think that it adds to it for some reason.
That's funny.
It's hilarious.
But when I finally understood camp was actually recently when I played Resident Evil 2. Like, that game's campy as hell, but I got it. Like, I understood. I'm like, okay, I see where I enjoy this. This is hilarious. Like, Leon Kennedy is the most oblivious, just
moron.
Yeah, he's like, there's a scene towards the beginning of the game where a guy is like stuck behind a garage door and he's like, help me out.
And they're
Have you seen
about,
this?
Yeah, it's like, I'll get you.
Yeah, well, he's like, give me your hand, and he like grabs it. He's like, give me your other hand, and he starts pulling him, right? And this dude's just like wailing, and like you just see
for
this.
some reason, Leon's keep pulling like he's gonna be okay.
Well, he does that, and like just some blood just splurts up, and he's like, hang in there.
It's clearly torn in half.
Yeah, and then he rips him in half.
Just as he pulls his like top torso.
Yes, and I'm like,
I'll go get help. It's like, what?
Yeah, I'm just like, he does it in the very, very beginning too.
I've heard a couple people talk about that scene because it's hilarious.
It is, and it's so
hang in there.
Yeah, and I'm like, the people who made this game are not stupid.
No, they knew what they were doing.
They knew how people were going to react to this, and they nailed it.
It's hilarious.
And it's so colored who Leon was, which is this absolute Boy Scout who is just such a freaking dunce.
Never seen combat or anything.
Right, and like, I mean, he's like 21 in the game.
Really? He's fresh out the academy or something?
Like, it's his first day on the job.
And Zombies.
Yeah. And
what a shit way to start the job.
Well, they actually told him, like, don't come in.
Don't come in.
Because, like, things were going on. He was like, I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Like, I gotta go see what's going on.
I'd feel bad if I didn't show up my first day.
And, like, and then there are, like, pieces of it interspersed where, like, he'll be walking through, like, a dark corridor and be like, you got this, Leon, you got it. And, like,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm like, cool. Like, he's not... He's campy, but he's not complete. Like, there's still some realism to it. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't pull too far one way or another, like, just when it starts to get too heavy, you have him where it's like, hang in there.
He'll trip out some blood and bust his ass or something.
Yeah, like, it's nuts. And Claire's the same way. The other character you can play, she's completely oblivious, doesn't understand what's happening.
I mean, you wouldn't, right?
Well, yeah,
no one would understand what's happening.
But, like, there's a point, like, in the game, if you shoot because you, like, unless you get lucky, like, you can put 15 bullets in a zombie's head and it's still coming at you.
I've seen that. I'm like, how the fuck?
And it's because the virus in the game is, like...
It's not exactly how zombies are. It's not...
Right, it is...
like, mutated people, right?
Yeah, well, it's like the undead.
Yeah.
It's like they're indestructible, basically. Cool. Well,
until you destroy their head.
As much as one can be.
Being a corpse.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I remember playing Resident Evil 4 where you'd pop some dude's head off and a tendril would pop out instead.
I was like, oh, God!
and, like, it was just random. Like, sometimes it would happen, sometimes it wouldn't.
That's terrifying. That's why I never play the Resident Evil games.
They're fucking scary.
That's why I didn't play them, bro.
And, but yeah, but there's a scene where, or like there's this mechanic in the game where if you're shooting a zombie and you shoot it like 5 times, they'll be like, "Come on, what the fuck?" Like they'll like comment like, "God damn it! Like, why is this thing still up?"
That's awesome. I like shit like that so much.
And but it starts to wear on you a little bit because like it'll be like 6 hours into the game and they're still going, "God damn it!" Like or like
you should know by now what the deal is.
Exactly. Or if like you shoot one and it's like down and it gets back up, they're like, "What the?" Like literally, that's how he says it.
That's so funny though.
And it's like after 4 hours or so, it's like you shouldn't be surprised anymore.
That's so funny.
You really shouldn't be.
That's hilarious though, man.
But the fact that they are is what makes it so good.
Yep.
It makes
what the
what the
they're 50th zombies. Like, I don't get why they're still doing this. Well, you have no reason to believe that they wouldn't.
Yeah. What is proven to you otherwise?
Hey man, the facts are all there.
But
that's funny.
Yeah, like they knew what they were doing. Come on. Like And I just, excuse me, I respect that level of camp now, which I didn't before. But, so yeah, that's why, bringing it back to Power Rangers.
Hell yeah. Where it belongs.
Where it belongs. That's kind of why I want to go back and check it out. But I'm watching, I finished The Punisher Season 2.
Nice.
Which was pretty good. We could talk about that. Do you want to talk about that?
Before you do that, I'm going to finish on the Power Rangers thing.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Real fast. So, yeah, it's campy as fuck. But I don't think when it wants to be serious and it wants to tell a good story, it does.
Right.
And, yeah, it's made for kids. Yeah, it's stupid, like spandex wearing fuckheads fighting, just clearly dudes in, like, a costume. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not the point.
And isn't it true that they would use the fight scenes from the Japanese version and just put English? That's so funny.
It's funny.
That's amazing.
Because every season of Power Rangers is adapted from a show called Super Sentai in Japan. They just bring it here. They'd use all the action scenes and dub it over. Right. So you can obviously tell because they're fighting, and then they got the actor from America be like, ah! It's dumb shit like that. Or I don't know why they had him do it, but every time like they make like an arm motion, like, that's what they're like. That's how they talk.
Yeah.
It's like, you will not ever defeat us. And it's like, why?
Because they have to.
You're ADRing in like a studio and you know what's happening, but don't do it like that. I think they did it until recent seasons because now Power Rangers has more money. They're owned by like Hasbro. They can afford to shoot their own stuff now. Like they'll still use the props and the costumes from the Japanese, but they can totally make their own season.
Right. It's I'm just waiting. Do you think we're gonna get a sequel to the live action movie they released recently?
Yes, they better.
But do you think we're gonna get it?
I think it's already confirmed. They're just in like really post production, trying to work out the schedule for all the actors and stuff. I don't think a script is written, but I think they're like, hey, we need to do this.
Because isn't the Red Ranger? Doesn't he play the douchebag in the latest season of Stranger Things?
Yes, he does.
That could be a conflict. Because if I was him,
you wouldn't want to go back to Power Rangers.
Well, I would.
Stranger Things season 3 is already filmed though, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't
care. Shit show. Go back to Power Rangers, Daker.
Here's the thing. Like I thought season 1 was good, but I think season 2 kind of lost the magic a bit. But then it kind of gained the magic too, and
and
Steve
now
and
I
things
don't
like
care. It's been too long.
Yeah, at this point I'm kind of like I don't give a shit. Like the show it ran its course. Let's just put a pump the brakes.
Nail in the old coffin.
Yeah, let's just park the car.
Now I know you haven't seen the Power Rangers movie from last year.
I have not.
I know a lot of people that have seen it and have liked it. I'll be the first to admit, as big as a fan that I am, it's not that good.
The movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. It tried to bring it up to the modern age, and some things in Power Rangers you just cannot change. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, the people are like, oh, the suit designs are weird. It's fine. It's supposed to be I know what they try to do, like foreign, like it's from like a different planet. It's like weird bio skin, like it's armor, but it grows on you.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen it.
It's like a second skin
Yeah,
layer.
I've seen the trailers.
Yeah, and I get it. And I don't get, like, the Zords, they're big.
The big robot?
Yeah, the big robots that they get in. It's like a T-Rex and a, stuff like that.
Big, like, mega, like toy-looking thing?
Yeah, like toy-looking things. And they look weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, again...
You know what I think it is? They try to explain everything that doesn't need an explanation at all. Because they were like, oh, these Zords take on the form of the strongest being on the planet. I'm like, so why doesn't it take the form of a gun? Like, why does it take the form of an extinct animal? I don't get your reasoning here, Alpha.
Yeah, or like an atomic bomb or just something.
I mean, I don't...
Unless, like, the Zords on that planet just, like... They just, like, breathe, like, atomic breath or something. I don't know.
But they did change things for the better, which I did like a lot. Like, Zordon, the big floating head from the old show, they made him the Red Ranger of the last team, which I like a whole lot, and his team died.
Wow.
And the only way that he survived is Alpha 5, his, like, little friend, put his life essence into the ship. Mm-hmm. So now he's like those little pin art.
Yeah.
He's like a wall on the ship, and he kind of controls. I think that's cool. That's cool.
It was neat, like seeing Bryan Cranston's pin art.
I love him in that movie so much.
Yeah, he was a good choice.
He's so cool. And Rita, who's like a space witch, she was the Green Ranger on his team. So I like that there's that connection there. See, I love when they do shit like that. And then they do dumb shit like make Goldar just pure gold. Okay, in the show, Goldar is this weird monkey bird man.
Right.
He has gold armor. He's like
Just a
Rita's
bar of
second. in
gold?
No, okay, so, it's fucking stupid. So Goldar on the show is this monkey alien thing with like gold armor on and a sword and wings, right? Like falcon wings. It's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
And in this one, they made Rita like a witch in its purest form. Like she controls like the elements, and her putties are just concrete. She gives life.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the show, there's this monster that had clay figures, and he put them in like a big printer, and they copied them but bigger. Shit like that you cannot change.
Yeah.
And then Rita goes to like a gold mine and just pulls the gold from the ground and makes it into a big monster. I'm like, that's not interesting.
Weird.
It's gross.
So, like, what is the gold thing? Is he just like one of those printed things in the show?
He's just a monster. Like he's like one of a kind. He's just a
Okay.
monster. Like he can talk.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a dude. But the putties are just basically your drones. You know, your
Yeah,
stormtroopers,
your fodder.
Your fodder.
Your
Apparently
things
just can
to fight.
fuck up for like 20 minutes until they have to fight the big dude. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't
And
like it.
now in the putties in the show are just like
They're just concrete. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool because some of them have like stop signs in them or like a piece of like a traffic light. And that's cool,
Yeah.
I guess.
and you punch them and they just like crumble.
But I think it's cool because in this one, the Rangers have powers when they're not morphed.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're stronger and they're faster. But a normal cop cannot take on a putty. Because if I punched him, my hand would shatter because they're just concrete.
Yeah.
You would die.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's so is that like lore friendly to like have your powers without the suit on?
Depends on the season.
What do you consider? Because I want to ask from like, what do you consider lore? Like what, in regards to that question, like what works for you and what doesn't, in terms of lore.
Oh, son of a bitch. See, it's weird. It's really weird because some seasons, the powers that give them the ability to morph also gives them powers when they're not in the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's another one, Dino Thunder is what it's called. It's another dinosaur-based season. And like the Red Ranger becomes super fast, like a T-Rex. It makes no sense. The Blue Ranger is the Triceratops, and he has like unbreakable skin, like Luke Cage, which I guess is kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, cool.
And the Yellow Ranger is a pterodactyl.
I thought you were gonna say potato.
No. She's a potato, the most famous dinosaur. Yeah, she's a pterodactyl, and her screams like hurt people. She's like Black Canary, I guess, in that aspect. It's funny because she's a singer. And some seasons like SPD, where the Power Rangers are like a government space cop.
Mm-hmm.
They were given powers because their parents experimented on them. It's weird. So there is no definite lore, like definite like this is what happened. 'Cause it's different all the time. It's weird.
So like, I forget like what lore question I had for you a second. Oh right. So do you prefer the concept that they don't have powers outside of their suit, or do you prefer like? Because I think it's kind of neat to think about the like. It's a whole like I'm trying to think of a good superhero like Iron Man.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
You're nothing without the suit.
Mhm.
Well, is he? It's that kind of question I have with.
He is. Anything.
He is. He's shown that.
Definitely.
And I think that's an interesting thing. Could be an interesting thing with the Power Rangers, but if you kind of give them powers without the suit, well, they kind of are.
I guess it does
kind of
take something away. Like, why do you need it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in this one you do because if you punch that rock monster, you're gonna shatter your hand.
Right.
I do think it's more interesting when they don't have powers, when it's just them, and then they morph and like, oh, cool, we can flip and shit. But in most seasons where they don't, because of what they do in the suit, they kind of learn to defend themselves outside to a certain degree,
Yeah.
So they can still fight, but they can't take a lot of damage, do a lot of damage. They're still a dude, but they can fight.
Yeah. So with the suits, are they?
Sorry.
Are they like little phones they keep in their pocket and just go morphin' time?
Depends on the season, buddy. Depends on the
Oh
season.
God.
In one season, there's sunglasses, and they whip them out, and they flip them on, they press a button, and they do it. It's so fucking stupid. In most of them, they are phones, or it's something on, like their wrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're like morphin' time. Got to go and they like pull their suit out of their bag and like
God damn it.
put it on,
See, I know it looks spandex, but I think it's supposed to be like armor.
like skin tight.
Yeah, but
Like
it's
like a
but
second
it's
layer
not
of skin.
actually spandex, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah. I remember our RPM, which I think is one of the best seasons ever. If you're gonna watch one, start with there.
RPM.
Yeah, RPM.
Okay.
It's so dark. Actually, it's like this Terminator-esque future where an AI takes over and kills about 90% of the planet, and that's episode 1. So the story is there's this one domed planet, and the Power Rangers are just protecting that one spot on the entire. Everything else is dead. Everything else is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of jokes about like the lore of Power. They're fucking with Power Rangers.
Right.
So the Green Ranger is kind of like the audience. What's it called?
Surrogate.
Yeah, he's audience surrogate. He's like he asked the doctor who makes the suits. He's like, "Why are we wearing spandex?" And she does every. She's like, "It's not fucking spandex, man." It's so fun.
Where did that air? Was it on Disney XD or something?
Depends. It was owned by different things a lot of the times. It was Jetix for a while, and then it was Disney, and now it's owned by Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's owned by Hasbro, but Nickelodeon is showing it. You know.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check it out, man.
Do it.
I'm a little
Start
excited.
with RPM.
What's the season? I think you answered this already, but what's the season where like each one kind of like is an animal? Like each suit kind of represents an animal.
Oh shit, there's a couple.
It might. Okay. Because I thought this was like one season.
There's Wild Force.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
Wild Force is like 2002, 2003, maybe.
Because I remember seeing
There's
commercials
a wolf
for that.
ranger. There's a wolf. He's kind of cool.
Oh, is he
But
blue? Is he the blue one?
He's gray. Blue is a shark.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have gills? Does he have a dorsal fin?
He's just a normal boy. Yeah, I think he does get like a dorsal fin on his suit. Actually, I could be wrong.
Does he look like a
on his back?
Taylor
Lautner
from hit film?
That's
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I don't know, man. I haven't watched this season in a while.
That's rough.
There was
That's
a period
rough
where I tried to
movie.
go through and watch the season that I know that I didn't watch before. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I'll go through Wild Force, whatever. I'm like, I can't get through these. Like these early seasons are not as good as I thought that they were.
Right.
It starts getting good like 2005, 2006. Then
Makes
it
sense.
dips 2010, and it's kind of bad right now.
What's the current run at the moment?
Ninja Steel, dog shit.
How long has it been going on?
2 years.
Wow.
See, what they do now is they do a season, they do normal, like Ninja Steel, and now they do another season, Super Ninja Steel. I hate it. They're just milking a season till it dies.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Probably just hit the reset button.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like?
What's that?
In terms of Power Rangers, what I think would be really cool is, and you can tell me if this is like kind of
already
myopic
happened.
a little bit or like whatever.
Yeah.
Is if they had like a situation where the Rangers have like hung it up for a while
Mm-hmm.
and then they got to come back, you know, like these older men as men and women as Power Rangers. I think that would be cool. I think you're gonna like this.
What's up?
A medieval style Power Rangers
It's pretty sick.
with like castles and shit. I think would be cool as fuck. Cause like if their armor was like actually like plate armor and like helmets were like real helmets.
Do they get giant robots? How do you explain that? Don't say catapults.
Trebuchets. I was gonna say please. Come on, get the arm
What do you
up.
mean bullies? Blue, get the leg. I'm trying. That's funny. That's gangster.
I would like
Oh,
that.
fuck.
I'd like that a whole. I would
Mhm.
watch that. I'd watch the fuck out of that.
There is actually a comic that I bought and read called Soul of the Dragon. It's a Power Rangers comic.
Mm-hmm.
The Green Ranger, the original Green Ranger, I don't know why, but he's sort of the face of Power Rangers now. He's been maybe 5 Rangers, I think. Green, white, red twice, and then black. He's been in a lot of seasons. It's where he is in the future. Not the future, he's older. He's like 50 or 60. And his back is all fucked up from fighting for so long. He has like a mechanical implant in his back so he can walk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hung up. He hasn't been a ranger for a while. His son is like a space cop.
Yeah.
And he leaves, the fighting to the Power Rangers now. But his son gets kidnapped, so he has to bring his old busted, morpher back. And it only works like a little bit. Like it doesn't work all the time. Like he'll morph, it'll do for a second, then it'll cut off because it's so old.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting as fuck.
That is interesting.
And I
Using
think he
this-
uses up like all of his. He only has like 5 charges, like 1 for each ranger that he's ever been. So when he's out, he's out.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
he
you can only morph a couple times.
5 times.
Is that a constant thing?
Well, he's not connected to the grid anymore because he's not part of the team.
Oh, okay. I
So
see.
he only has that morpher, and then he has his 1 charge per suit, and he's done.
Yeah. Okay.
Does he use them all? Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you?
100%.
Yeah.
Because he's a moron.
It'd be a shame if he used one and just never took the suit off.
Yeah.
Just like
I don't think that would work.
sitting on his couch.
No, there's this one interesting thing because there's a current run of Power Rangers comics, which I really like. It's the old original cast of the first season, but it's more modern. It's more delving in like the social and like emotional consequences of being like a superhero, right?
Yep.
And the Blue Ranger, who's always been like the nerd type, he doesn't take his suit off. Like even when he's in school. Like he'll take the helmet off, but he's so scared of having a fight all the time that he keeps it on him all the time.
That's interesting.
It is really interesting. He's nervous and he's like anxious and he's like his teammates aren't like, dude, take it off, pussy. He's like, no, I get it. You keep it on for as long as you as you have to, but we'll work to a point where you don't. And I love that a lot.
Yeah.
That they're A, supportive, B, supportive. I love that shit, man.
Yeah, it's like it's
Billy, take it off, you puss.
it's an interesting look at PTSD, which I think is an interesting like narrative in anything, really. But yeah, I will check it out.
Definitely.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna let you know what I think.
Lightspeed Rescue, RPM, SPD.
What do those words mean?
Those are different seasons of Power Rangers.
Okay, cool. So I kind of want to talk about Punisher season 2 just a little bit.
What's
I don't have that much to say about it.
It was
It was fine. It was fine.
We're done. Move on. No.
It was fine. I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. Pretty much the same way I felt about season 1. Only I think I preferred season 2.
Yeah, same.
Maybe a little bit, but not by much. Simply because there was just like a micro bit more action in season 2, not by much.
But it was better, I think.
Yeah, that too. I liked the characters were better. Like John Pilgrim, I think is a better villain than Billy Russo. Frankly, I actually prefer John Pilgrim. I think he was
The
like
scary church man.
the scary former neo-Nazi type dude.
Yeah, I saw this news story. But like, oh, the villain in Punisher 2 is an alt-right. I'm like, is he though?
Yeah, like
There's no reference except like a faded tattoo you see one time.
yeah, and he's like
He's talking
he's
to
a
Frank's
changed,
friend.
if anything.
He's talking to Frank's friend. What's his name?
Curtis.
He's like, man, in my past life, I would have judged you.
Yeah,
Based on I'm like, oh, are you racist? Oh, fuck, he is a racist.
yeah. I mean, like
But
that's
now he's not. He's a changed man.
I know it's like it's an interesting. Now he didn't change for the
He's still
betterness.
Like
it was kind of a lateral move
Yeah, yeah.
almost. But the fact is, he.
By the way, spoilers for Punisher season 2. By the way,
yeah, that's true.
we didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I mean, I remember some people like I remember reading that too. I was like, "Fuck, what is this?" And then
Yeah.
like what are they?
What are they doing?
Yeah,
this
like
season?
I don't want.
I don't want
I
it to
don't-
be like a political thing the whole.
No,
time.
I don't. I just kind of want to watch
God.
Punisher shoot people.
I don't want the Punisher's main villain. Like, I don't want his name to be like Fonald Slump. I don't need that in my Punisher.
Yeah, yeah.
show.
Or like I didn't want him to be like, you know, and there's a little bit of like some like.
Flurry Slinton.
Well, there's a little bit of what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? God, what is the word?
God damn it.
Virtue signaling.
Ah.
There's a little bit of it in the series.
Yeah.
Not much, but there's a little bit. It specifically reared its head with Amy, and not in every scene, but like there's one scene where Frank asks her to sew his butt up because he got shot,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Oh, what, you think because I'm a girl I know how to use a needle and thread?"
You're the only fucking person in this bathroom.
Yeah, he's like, "I don't give a fuck. I just need you to help me."
Sew my ass.
Yeah, like that is. It has nothing to do with you. Anyway,
That's lame shitting, I guess, because she's like, oh, he's like, no, shut the fuck up. I think that's the show being like, we don't care.
yeah. It's like I'm asking.
Which I like.
Yeah, and I appreciated that too. Like then, although there was a weird scene where Frank like is like, kids got no respect these days.
Yeah, I was on the damn phones. Like, come on, Frank.
Yeah, like what do you? And
You're
they
like 30. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
like come on, dude. What are you doing? And like, I mean, yeah, I just seemed a little bit too on the nose in the other direction, which I guess that's the big thing. Like that's like my main complaint with this season is like too much of what I don't want, not enough of what I do want. Frankly, the last 30 seconds is what I wanted all of season 2 to be.
I think that kind of took away from the season just a little bit.
The last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean? It did because it's like, oh shit, we'll get that in season 3. No, we won't.
No, because I thought, because I took the end of season 2 as like, okay, Frank is changed to some degree. Like he's still gonna do his thing, but not as intense. Because he saw what could happen with those 3 girls that he thought he killed, which he should have killed.
Yes.
And then at
We'll
the
get
end,
into that,
at
too.
the end, I thought he was gonna like recruit these kids, and he just guns them down in a warehouse.
Yeah.
And they're like 18, 19. This could be
They're
their first
kids.
drug deal.
Yeah, they're
and he
kids.
just machine guns them.
Yeah,
and he's enjoying it. You can tell he's enjoying himself.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's got the leather trench coat and everything. He looks like the Punisher.
He's got the laugh of a Matt. Yeah, that
Finally,
looked full Punisher.
like he looks
Trench
like
coat.
the Punisher.
Like it was a nice spray painted skull this
Yeah,
time.
it was the skull with the bulletproof vest.
How do you hide 2 ARs in a leather jacket?
I don't know, but I wanted more
Because he
of
pulled
it.
them, I was like, how the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think the issue with it was, and I've read this criticism online before, is that what they were saying, like people were saying, he's doing the exact same arc that he did in season 1. I agree with that to a point. But I read something interesting where they said basically the true arc of Frank in season 2 is that he's learning to accept his role as a bad guy. But at the same time, at every opportunity, the show was trying to imply to me that
he's a good guy.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Because when he fucks up and guns down 3 women because he's you know, like just red bloodlust, you
Yep.
know, like there are consequences to that. And I thought they were really gonna like go there. I was like, okay, like
This is cool.
this is like taking another step up. Like I like this. This makes sense. And of course not.
No,
of course.
Billy just shot him.
Yeah, they can't have, you know, Frank being the dubious character that he is, because he's a dubious character.
That's what he is, though. Like
exactly. Like he's a
The
psychopath.
Punisher is not a good guy.
No, he's a
Like in comics, every hero is like, oh, he's fucking crazy.
and he is.
Nobody wants to work with him.
Yeah, because
He's insane.
He's more. He is, man. And that's what makes him interesting. And I know some people are like, "Oh, I don't want a one-dimensional killing machine." You know,
I do.
Well, part of me does, but like at the same time, that's not really what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is, I don't.
Saying he's one-dimensional is implying that he likes what he does.
Yeah, like you don't have to
He
like
doesn't
what you
have
do.
to, but he has to do it.
Yeah.
He feels like he has like an obligation to clean up the streets, and he'll do whatever he fucking has, even if it means machine gunning 20 teenagers in a warehouse.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Yeah, and it's like I never got that vibe with Frank where, oh, I'll just do it. I don't give a fuck. Like with everything, the scene where he goes to the child pornographer, and they're like checking out the pictures to like get them
I
developed.
thought he was gonna kill him.
Why wouldn't
Why didn't he kill him?
It-
No. There's this scene in he kills somebody for less in season 1. He's at like a video store. And
Yeah,
he
it was
asks for
Daredevil
some,
season 2.
Yeah, and he asks for some information. He leaves, and the guy's like, "Hey, you got what does he say?"
I got like 16 or younger guaranteed. Basically,
Yeah, and he
something like
turns
that.
around and he beats him to death.
Yeah, he just picks up a bat and beats the. I don't know what the fuck he did to him.
But he killed him.
Fucked him up.
And
That's the point.
The dude barely didn't do anything. He just said that he just said that he sold videos of underage girls, and Frank murdered him.
Yeah, as you should.
And this guy
like-
actually records women, and he didn't kill him.
Yeah, like this dude.
This
and then,
guy who had a daughter.
Yeah, and then he burns his warehouse down, destroying all the evidence.
And then just leaves them to run away.
Yes, and the cops could be like, this psychopath just
burned down
broke my
like
arms
a
and
random
burned down my-
warehouse. Yeah.
Or you could just leave that area, pretend he wasn't there.
Snap both of his legs.
Well, I mean, like he could have just been like, just walked away.
Maybe tip off your friend in the homeland,
something.
Yeah, tip off.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody.
Or kill him, like the Punisher would do.
My Frank Castle would have murdered that man.
Wouldn't have even thought about it.
Wouldn't have blinked. He'd
Yeah,
been like,
just-
oh, you do what?
Yeah. And he probably would have enjoyed it,
He probably would have.
you know? And
Amy stopped him because
Yeah.
he was gonna kill him.
Yeah, he was.
gonna kill him.
I was like, oh, fuck.
I was like, let him.
Yes,
Let him.
do it.
He was beating him to death. And
Yeah,
Amy was like, Frank. I'm like, no, you let him do it. You
yeah,
let
yeah.
him do
no,
it.
no.
Let him finish.
No, he's not done yet.
Not
Okay?
done.
And then Amy just walked up and was like, hey, killing's not cool, bruh. And then I'm like,
Shut the fuck up. Do you know,
shut up.
Do you know who you're talking to?
This is ridiculous. Like,
this is Frank motherfucking Castle.
I have never seen, except for maybe The Last Jedi, a more tone-deaf understanding of this, a misunderstanding of who
Yeah.
they are
Of a
creating.
protagonist.
Yes. Like, it's one thing if he's like, okay, there's like a somewhat like, there's this dude who's like slinging dope. It's like, hey, don't kill him. That's a little over the top. okay, that's a bit more like.
But this child porn guy needs to die.
Yeah, and like, okay, that's a bit more dubious.
Apparently,
but even,
like someone who he had kids, man.
yeah,
He had a daughter. He would have killed him.
yeah, and I remember, I saw this panel of a comic where Frank guns down a street because someone littered.
You're kidding.
No, I saw it. It was so funny.
The whole street?
I don't know if it was the whole street.
That's so funny.
But there's just this panel with this like skin tight Punisher suit. And he's just gunning people down. He's like, littering is a federal crime.
That's so 90s. Hold on.
It's freaking hilarious. And like that's Frank. You know,
that
to
is
me,
Frank. He's unhinged.
he's insane. He should not be doing what he's doing, but he's doing it.
He's doing
and
it.
I want to watch him do it. You know? Did you find the panel?
I'm trying to find it. You keep talking. I'm trying to find it.
But yeah, so that really irritated me about the series.
I found it. He sees like a like someone throw like a newspaper into a trash and he misses.
Yeah.
And he's hiding behind like a brick wall and he
Probably
goes,
in broad daylight.
He goes, it is broad daylight. He goes, littering is a crime against society, and he turns around the corner with like an M16 and starts gunning down this dude.
It's ridiculous. But it's,
oh my god!
and I'm not saying we need that. I'm not at all.
Wait, and then he runs a red light. He's trying. The guy who literally tries to run. He gets into like a taxi and tells the guy to just run. And this is Punisher in his head. He goes, "The light is red, and that cabbie is plowing right through it. Another crime." And then he starts lighting up again. It's so funny. Holy shit.
and I'm not saying we need that type of like.
I need it.
Well, it's so funny.
Another crime.
Another crime.
That's so funny. Holy shit.
But my point is that this man has killed for a lot less.
Yeah.
And
Holy fuck.
he let a child pornographer go. Not only that, he let the child pornographer go without any consequences other than some broken arms. I mean, okay, yeah, he fucked him up a little bit. He broke his arms, but he could just go to the cops and be like, I got mugged in the street. Like, there's nothing connecting him to that little studio anymore.
Yep.
Because it's burned down.
You know what I think is like what tells you what kind of a man Frank Castle is?
What?
So there's this comic, I forgot what Punisher's after, but Wolverine is in his way, even if not like fully, he's in some way or form like an obstacle, right?
Mm.
And you can't kill him, so Frank parks a steamroller on top of him and leaves him. It's so
just blow his legs off.
He does shoot his legs, and then he parks a steamroller on him and just leaves. It won't kill him, but he'll be there a while.
That's hilarious.
That's so. He's so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's crazy.
He is hilariously crazy.
And I honestly, the
Holy
Punisher is my
shit.
favorite like Marvel character, probably. Certainly up there with Spider-Man.
Mhm.
I think I prefer him over Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, but the Punisher, like, I mean, come on, you heard it here
So
first.
funny.
Like, so,
Can't kill you. I'm gonna park a steamroller on you instead.
but yeah, like, and I love John Bernthal.
Yep.
Love his portrayal.
great.
He's the only reason I kept watching.
Same, actually.
And Curtis. I liked Curtis. But
I watch for Amy.
you freaking weirdo.
Shut your mouth.
But yeah, so I watched for John Bernthal's performance. Masterful performance. Like, I watched a scene where he goes back to the Jake guy that he's torturing to get some information out of,
Mhm.
and he walks in the door as Curtis is, like, bandaging him up. And you see, if you watch his right hand,
His finger starts twitching.
he's twitching.
I saw that. I'm like,
like-
holy fuck, that's cool.
like he feels like he has a gun in his hand.
Yeah,
he's like
that's
he's
so
like
metal.
twitching, and I'm like,
That's
that is the
awesome.
coolest shit ever.
And I tried to do it. It's harder to do than it looks. You can't just do it.
Yeah,
It was better than what
yeah.
than,
He's like,
than what I'm doing.
He's like moving around and like he can't sit still.
Because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, and like it's like he wants to be pulling a trigger. Like he doesn't care what he's shooting.
Or beating a child molester to death.
yeah, or anything like that. But no, he let them go.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
But that's when I knew I'm like, this John Bernthal dude gets it. Like
He's
he
good.
understands what
Punisher is.
Punisher's all about. He gets it, but the showrunners didn't. And even his little like corny, I'll dance with you at the very end. Punisher, perfect
That's-
Punisher. Like, thank you
I'll dance with you.
And then he just yells. Like, you get that last Punisher scream
He's just
that you'll probably ever
yelling.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Machine gunning teenagers to their deaths.
Yeah,
That's so Punisher.
As you do.
Oh, my God.
And I
See,
just...
Tristan said, man, that whole scene, best scene. I'm like, I think it's kind of fucked up.
It's fucked up, and it's not long enough to be the best scene. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
best scene is
just-
definitely that bathroom fight in the first two episodes.
That was a good scene.
Because he beating the fuck out of women. That's not why, but I think it's hilarious that he doesn't care.
I like the probably my favorite scene would be
The gym fight?
Ooh, gym fight's good. I like the scene. Believe it or not, I like the John Pilgrim fight where he takes those teeth out of his head.
Oh, that's so gross.
It was fucking insane. But I also really like the scene where he's in the forest and he's got his he got black tape and he like tapes it. And he's just like, because there's too many fist fights. Like, Punisher's about guns.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's cool to watch him brutally just eviscerate somebody.
Yeah.
But I want to see him just like gunning down without a second thought. Like, I want a John Wick style just shootout scene. I never got it. The closest I got was
I totally forgot about that police station
yeah,
shootout scene.
Yeah.
Of
course.
okay. It's okay.
The other issue is the fact that the season's too long. It
Yeah,
spread
there's
itself
definitely
way
A little
too
bit of
thin.
fluff.
But
That pizza scene, you never cut that.
is that Lombardi's?
Holy shit.
Holy shit! Is that Lombardi's? That was.
I don't know why you did, but I loved it.
I loved his reaction to it, but I hated.
shit.
But I hated the
Amy.
fact that like it's ridiculous.
Because
Like,
she's a little bitch.
yes, like I was kind of warming up, and the only time I really warmed up to her and kind of felt some like bad for her, was when Frank pulled a gun on her, and like almost blew her head off, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And she just got yelled at.
Yeah.
Because she was trying to, I don't know what she was trying to do.
She was trying to try the disarm move.
And he almost shot her in the face.
Yeah, and like she looked horrified, and I'm like,
that maniac of a man is yelling at you.
Yeah,
I'd be horrified.
he's a maniac.
I'd shit myself.
And he's pointing a gun at you and shooting by your head to like prove a point. Like that is Punisher. He is unfucking hinged.
He's a great father, isn't he?
He's a wonderful father.
Fantastic.
And then I was like, oh, come on, dude, don't be. Come on.
Get your kids are dead, but calm down.
Yeah, like relax. Like I'm glad Kurt was there. Be like, yo,
Reel it
dude,
in.
asshole,
She's just a kid.
Yeah.
Calm down.
stop it.
Easy.
Get some help.
Get some help.
But
Stop it. Get some help.
But other than that, she's just a bitch, man. Like she's like she spends the whole first half of the series like trying to run away, and I'm like, okay, I kind of
Just swearing up and down that she has nothing to do with any of this.
yeah. I'm like, why are you being like this?
Like he's caught her red-handed. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
and he sat there and killed for her. Like, I mean, I don't like
Multiple times.
how much more like do you
What do you need to? What does he need to do to prove? He's already murdered 7 people in this bar.
for you?
Yeah,
Had nothing to do with him.
nothing.
He coulda just
Well,
watched.
granted, he kind of felt like murder.
Well, yeah, he felt like
That's
killing people.
pretty frank of him to just murder people because he feels like it.
Yeah, like I know some people. Like I was telling my friend about it. He was like,
Who
that's,
murder for fun?
well, like he was like what? Why is everything happening? I'm like, well, Frank just
Frank had a murder boner, and he's
he just decided to step in and hurt some people.
Yeah,
And he's like, well,
Cool.
that's kind of stupid.
like
and,
is it though?
And I'm like,
I
yes,
kind of like it,
but I
kind of like it.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, Amy, like from the very first scene. Well, I actually thought the first scene where she calls him Rough Road. I kind of liked that, but I thought that was good.
What are you looking at? You were looking at me. Shut the fuck up, old man. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I actually loved Frank's reaction because he just kind of like chuckles and like just he's like,
"You looking at me, kid?" Whatever, pussy.
I actually like that scene quite a bit. The whole first 3 episodes
good.
are banger.
Good. I love that it opens and he's just in a van, just covered in blood. I'm like, where? How did this happen?
Yeah. Like, what are we gonna do now? You just completely just lighten up these people.
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
what
holy
the fuck, man?
I was watching. I hope those are just like law-abiding citizens and not bad people.
Like he just got caught up in the wrong.
Yeah, the wrong red light.
Yeah.
Frank's like, I'm late.
But yeah, like I remember the first like 3 episodes. I'm like, dude, this is baller. Like this is what I want. Like I'm glad we're finally getting. No, then they get to New York and then that all happened.
Madani.
I didn't mind Madani.
Billy Russo's goddamn therapist.
Did she, answer me this? Did the actress who played Madani, did she have a messed up front tooth in the first season?
She wasn't in the. Oh, you mean who?
The actress who played Madani.
Madani?
Yeah.
I don't remember her teeth. To be fair.
'Cause I'm pretty sure she had like one tooth that was like kind of
don't
shifted on top
remember
of the other.
looking at her jaw a lot. Plus, that first season came out a while ago.
I'll have to go look it up.
Because it was like Punisher season 1, and then it was like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Defenders. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. And then
Too bad they're all canceled.
really. Although after watching Punisher season 2, this is what we're gonna keep getting. Like I'm kind of glad because I'm like I don't know why I'm watching them. You know, like I'm watching like I watched Punisher season 2 out of like a sort of obligation because I was like, this is the last season that we're probably gonna get of these Marvel shows,
Mm-hmm.
and like I wanted to watch it. You know, I like the Punisher, but and I like John Bernthal's portrayal, obviously. But peak Punisher was Daredevil season 2. You know, the first 4 episodes, killed it. Loved every second of it. I that's what I wanted.
Because he was peak like maniac Punisher was that season.
Yeah.
Just terrifying.
And then like, I mean, there's scenes in that series where you don't even see his face.
No.
Like you just, the first scene he's like ever involved in is like there's this like meeting of like I want to say they're like Irish
Gangs, and
mobsters.
he kills all of them.
Just shoots the whole room down, and you don't see him once.
Isn't that why Daredevil has a problem with him? Because he kills every gang in New York.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
He's a murderer, and like the foil between Daredevil and the Punisher is the most interesting thing, in my opinion,
About that whole Netflix thing?
about anything Marvel's done.
Yep.
For me, like I know some people like, I mean, you know, I enjoy the Marvel movies. They're not my favorite, but what? Are you gonna do it?
The foil between Iron Man and Captain America is pretty interesting myself.
It is interesting. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Too
But
bad Cap's gonna die.
God, don't remind me.
No, please remind me.
I love.
I
Cap.
hate him. I don't
love
hate
Cap.
him.
He's not.
I like him as a character, but I like that I can like disagree with him. You know?
Yeah, I understand.
Like I enjoy that just because he's the American way that I can still be like, no, he's kind of wrong though.
Yeah, like I mean, he's not a
That's interesting.
The fact that he is flawed and his thinking is often kind of Boy Scoutish and flawed.
And wrong.
Yeah, and it can be wrong sometimes, and like that's why I'm interested in him because he believes so much of what he like. Even there's something attractive about a person who really believes what they're saying, even if they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like often it's the way it's presented to you more so than what is said to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're kind of off on tangent.
That's fine.
But yeah, the Punisher Daredevil foil in the first 4 episodes was my favorite thing Marvel's ever done. Like just the scenes with them on the rooftop with Daredevil fucking chained to a chimney because he's a fucking maniac, and I just love it. And he's like, you knock him down, they get back up. I knock him down, they stay down. Like I'm not doing it justice, but you know, like.
I knock them down, they stay down.
You feller. You know, I love it.
I like that they just had like a couple episodes of them just talking.
Yeah, it's
like,
great.
Like they're like why they do things and what they think is right. I was talking to you and I sent it to you. I'm reading a Transformers comic right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Where Optimus Prime and Megatron just sit down and talk. For a whole issue, they just talk.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most interesting things, Transformer or not, that I've read. And it's amazing.
It's great.
It's great.
Because, let's face it, I mean, I love action as much as, and I'm kind of contradicting myself because, like, at the top of this, I was basically saying I wanted more action, and I do want more action, but the problem wasn't that Daredevil 2 focused too much on character. That's not an issue. That's fine. I prefer that. The issue is that they were focusing on the wrong things, and they were creating a character that I didn't recognize. I didn't know who the fuck they were trying to make. It felt like Punisher Light in a lot of ways. Like it somehow felt less hardcore than Thomas Jane's Punisher from the old movies.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, he is the Punisher. Like he did that old short film where he beats those dudes to death with a bottle of Jack.
Uh-huh.
That is the most.
What is it called? The Laundromat or something?
Dirty
Something-
Laundry
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. It's fucking awesome.
That's good.
It's crazy cool. It's I love Thomas Jane though. So I
Who
guess that's
played
part of it.
Punisher in the second movie? Is that,
Ray Stevenson.
I like that one a lot.
Punisher Warzone.
Yeah, I like that.
That's more comic book like.
Yeah.
And it's silly, but it's like, you know, it's cool at the same time.
Jigsaw falls in like a
Well, Jigsaw actually looks like
glass
Jigsaw.
because he falls in like a glass recycling plant.
God.
It's like he fell into a blender. God. But yeah.
So yeah, I just and the scene and the fact that the Punisher in Daredevil season 2, he doesn't take his mask off. Why? I don't know.
Crazy dude.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing
He
to
doesn't
think
care.
about.
He doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit who you are, you know.
just don't agree with you.
Yeah.
And I will kill you if you get back in my way.
And I think the first time you hear him say a word in that series when he says bang and he shoots
in the face.
head. It's so funny.
Holy shit.
And
do you know who says bang? Psychopaths.
yeah, and that was Frank Unhinged, and somehow he became more hinged.
Yeah, he got more hinges, which is weird.
It's very strange. It should have worked in reverse.
He should have
know?
been like the craziest now.
Yeah, and he
Whatever.
wasn't.
Whatever.
Well, maybe he is. 'Cause
I
he's
guess
gunning down
'cause
teenagers.
the death of his family was more like, it was, what's the word?
Raw.
Yeah, it was more raw, but I guess, I don't get it.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's not how his character works, though. The point is that it's always there for him.
You know, I read in a certain Punisher series, he didn't give a shit about his family. Like, he wanted a divorce.
Oh, fuck.
Like, he just wanted an excuse to go on these, like, violent rampages.
I've heard that in some instances he just likes the excuse
Yeah.
to go murder.
Yeah, like, his family dying is an excuse. Like, he doesn't give a shit, really. You know, I'm sure he does, but, like, not like he does in the series, you know, in the Punisher series on Netflix. But, anyway, I just,
The Punisher's in a weird place in comics right now. I think he's the Ghost Rider right now, which is weird.
He's what?
The Punisher is the Ghost Rider.
Really?
Like he has, yeah. It's so strange.
We're gonna cut all this out. I'm sorry. I've had a text for like an hour.
Am I gonna cut it out though?
Well, we're gonna edit this tomorrow. We're gonna listen to the whole thing and edit it.
I'm gonna leave this in.
Well, we can leave this in.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just mean those like dead air moments.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's the Punisher. Mark, I wanted to.
What's up?
I asked you about Power Rangers. I wanted to get into because this kind of veered off course a little bit.
We're fine.
But I want to get into what I look for in fiction.
Sorry,
Stop it.
That hurt.
And I want to do that. Hold on, just a minute.
Damn it! He brought examples.
I did.
Is that Playboy?
Yeah,
That's what you view in storytime. That's weird.
I do. I look for the plot. I've got 4 books with me.
Holy shit! They're
'Cause-
all They're all the 50 Shades books. He has free twice. That's so weird.
Yeah. Excuse me. One of these is my mom's copy. But anyway, so you talked from a like television perspective, kind of a movie perspective.
Howdy.
I'm more of a book and video game guy. To be honest with you, I like movies a lot, but I'm very particular with my movies.
Don't get me wrong. I love a good book.
Yeah,
I love a good game.
I've seen your library.
3 stories.
True story.
No, I said it's 3 stories.
Oh, is it?
I mean, you've been, so you would know.
The beginning and middle and end.
My library is 3 stories long, tall.
Oh. Oh.
God damn it. I'm cutting it. It didn't work. I'm cutting it.
It's fine. No, I think that's more on me. But so what I brought with me here is well, one book of these I haven't read yet, but it's by a guy that I really admire. I've got the Iliad with me. I've got The Road by Cormac McCarthy. The Iliad's by Homer, obviously. And I've got Absalom by William Faulkner, and I've got 4 Great Tragedies by Shakespeare, which includes his 4 great tragedies: Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth. And I honestly think there's something that connects all these works, and it speaks to me I honestly do believe like what you read kind of speaks to who you are, what you're interested in as a person, because I look for very specific things in my fiction, and I'll pull it. I've got some underlined examples that I want to share with you, but the through line with all of these books is, in my opinion, all of these books are very masculine, and I'm going to explain. All these books are very masculine, but all of them have commentary on masculinity, which I think is fascinating. In fiction, what I'm really looking for is this like revisionist Western type thing where it's like it's a commentary on the forms themselves in a way.
Mm-hmm.
All of these books are very violent, every one of them, and very evil. Like there's an inherent evil in each of these works. Most notably, probably, well, I can't even say which one's the most evil. I mean, probably Macbeth, maybe, I don't know. Um, or Faulkner. Faulkner's fucking evil, dude. Like, and his evil is such that he doesn't have to come at you with violence to like show you how evil things are. Because I mean, he wrote a lot about obviously the dying South, the Reconstruction era of the South, when slavery was ended, but all these white slave owners were like, well, what the fuck do we do now? And
they can't read. Don't tell them it's over.
and it's very fascinating to me because Faulkner, like, he was very much interested in like portraying the rage of it's not slavery is not. I'm going to preface all of this by saying slavery is obviously not right. That's not what I'm saying.
However,
that's not what I'm saying at all. But it makes for very fascinating reading because it deeply explores the rage and the anger and just the complete like heartbreak of not having a home anymore, not knowing who you are, not everything, because the South lost, right? We obviously
100%.
they lost, so I still think in some ways are looked at as losers because they lost the war. Like
the same way that Germany is always looked at as the loser,
right?
Because they lost the war.
Exactly, and like that shit doesn't change. Like and it's even worse because they started it.
Yep.
The Confederates seceded. They started it, and they
got their
lost.
ass kicked.
And it's the same. And I'm from the South, so I'm not even like I'm from Tennessee. I'm definitely not.
I'm from Kentucky.
Are you?
I hate it.
I guess you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
I'm from the South, and I love the South. I love being Southern. I love, and I'm definitely the least Southern like kid you're ever gonna find. I'm not. I don't.
Dude, you're wearing a Confederate flag right now.
Oh
What are
my
you talking
god!
about?
Oh my god! I can't believe I'm going mudding later.
Oh god.
But yeah, so I'm not trying to like shit down the neck of the South because I feel like
That's such a weird saying.
get shit down the neck of the South.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like we get shit on sometimes.
Or shit down,
or
if you will.
shit down, if you will. But that's not just the South. We shit on people in the North down here too.
Yeah, we shit down the North Star all the time.
all the time. But yeah, it's Faulkner's fascinating to me because he exhibits this rage and like it's this anger, and to me there's a couple ways you can view life, and one of those ways that writers that I'm interested in are obsessed with is viewing the supposed like there's no inherent meaning in life that can be seen, so the natural response to that could be anger and frustration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're pissed
because you don't know why.
Yeah, you're just here with no reason, and you're just raging against a world that just does not react to you at all. And that's what Faulkner, I think, Faulkner writes like a fever dream, like it's like a river of just.
Is that the guy that you told me to read that one page and see if I knew what was happening?
Faulkner.
I had no idea what was happening.
His language is like a river. It just flows, and he has less complicated words.
It drowns you.
It does, and I think honestly that was the point. Like, and he has works that make more conventional styles, but his whole stream of consciousness thing is what it's called. It drowns you. It just engulfs you. It immerses you. It makes you feel the like oppressive heat of the South, and you feel. I don't want to say like you. It's hard for me to formulate without let me read you an example.
You almost feel the slavery.
Well, and I don't want to say that because obviously that's
I said
not
it.
true. Because it's different. One's fiction, one was fucking real.
Correct.
But so like, here's I'm gonna read you a little bit here. I wish I had underlined it, to be honest with you. But I'll read you basically the first little bit of Absalom. From a little after 2 o'clock until almost sundown of the long, still, hot, weary, dead September. Let me point this out. He used 1, 2, 3, 4 adjectives back to back. 5 if you count still as an adjective.
And I do.
Weary, dead September afternoon. They sat in what Miss Coldfield still called the office because her father called it that. A dim, hot, airless room with the blinds all closed and fastened for 43 summers, because when she was a girl she had believed that light and moving air carried heat, and that dark was always cooler, and which, as the sun shone fuller and fuller on the side of that house, became latticed with yellow lashes full of dust motes, which Quentin thought of as being flecks of the dead old dried paint itself, blown inward from the scaling blinds as wind might have blown them. That's one sentence.
Yeah, I couldn't read that, brother. I couldn't read it.
That is one sentence.
Holy shit.
And there's also another line, and this gets a little bit closer to what I'm talking about in regards to Faulkner. And this might interest you a little bit more. Miss Coldfield in the eternal black which she had worn for 43 years now, whether for sister, father, or not husband, none knew. Not husband. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. So they're just talking. They're not married. They're just talking.
None knew, sitting so bolt upright in the straight hard chair that was so tall for her that her legs hung straight and rigid as if she had iron shin bones, and ankles, clear of the floor with that air of impotent and static rage, like children's feet, and talking in that grim, haggard, amazed voice, until at last listening would renege, and hearing sense self-confounded, and the long-dead object of her impotent yet indomitable frustration would appear, as though by outraged recapitulation evoked, quiet and attentive and harmless, out of the binding and dreamy and victorious dust.
Dude, holy fuck.
What the fuck? That is the most insane and just
collection of words.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a symphony of words, and I don't even know what all of them are getting at, but that's okay, because when I'm reading something, I don't have to understand everything, and I think fiction could take a hand from that, where we feel the need. It's like you were talking about with Power Rangers, where they want to explain everything, you know, where everything came from. I don't need to know.
I don't need to know.
In fact, if I don't know, it's probably better.
A little bit more interesting.
But yeah, so that's Faulkner, and like you kind of get that idea of that oppressiveness, that oppressive, just relentless words just coming at you. It feels like feels like you're being weighed down. You know, you're tired after you read it. You feel like you've been in the heat all day.
I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Bro. I didn't even read it.
And this is actually one of his harder works for that reason. The Sound and the Fury is very hard.
So
too,
he has softer works.
Yeah, there's books called A Light in August, which are a little bit lighter.
Is that a little flaccid?
A little flaccid.
Cool.
But there's also...
I think this might be a little bit too erect for me.
I understand. There's also a book called As I Lay Dying, which is the only work of Faulkner that I've actually finished.
Mm-hmm. My eyes bled when I was done.
Well, the thing is like it's not the work. It's not like that dense, but it's dense in that like it feels like a nightmare. Like, that book feels like a fucking nightmare. If you don't know what that book's about, it's about the Bundrans. They're taking their dead matriarch of their family, like the mother. She's dying, and, like, one of their sons is outside, like, building her casket outside her window, like, as she watches him build it. And the idea is that she wants to be buried in Jefferson, but it just feels like everything in the universe is preventing them from getting to Jefferson with this body. And it takes them so long that the body starts to rot and stink.
Jesus Christ.
Like, and they start smelling it. It starts, like, clinging to their clothes and stuff like that. And they're just, it's pitiful. Like, just the bullshit. It, like, I don't even call it bullshit because it feels biblical.
You can call it bullshit.
like, it feels like an Old Testament story where it's like, if
shit's just fucked.
Yeah, like it feels like there's no hope. And there's another book in here that I'll talk about, The Road.
You know, with things where there's no hope, kind of sounds like a Western, which coincidentally you love.
Yeah, I do. I do. Good. I like that. I like where your head's at.
Appreciate it.
But Harold Bloom famously called it. He called As I Lay Dying a call from hell, and
howdy.
Basically, that's what it feels like. Because when you're reading that book, if something can go wrong, it goes wrong.
What's that called? Murphy's Law? Murphy's Law?
Yeah, basically. But it feels like Murphy's Law, it's such at a level that extends beyond time. Because while he writes about slavery, and while he writes about these, just horribly just decrepit characters and just horrible people, it's also a meditation on the universe. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there are several scenes where he just starts, talking about the universe and things like. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This is nuts. And but
it's too late for this. God damn.
But
it's 8:00.
But it always fits.
Mhm.
It feels like, and I've noticed this a lot about a lot of Gothic authors, like Southern Gothic specifically, is that they are obsessed with not only capturing evil and rage and anger, but they're interested in capturing humanity on a universe scale. Like, they want to go as big as you can,
Mhm.
and then they want to go as small as you can. Like they're a lot of the Southern Gothic literature that I've come across is one of extremes, and I love it. I think it's gorgeous, but I know that page probably threw a lot of people away.
My
But
soul is destroyed.
and it's hard to read. It's hard reading. Like, fucked up shit happens. And it's not politically correct. It uses.
Whoa.
I mean, well, definitely not, because it's when it was written and everything. But the language in it, it's it doesn't pull any punches. It was written in that time, and I'm not one of those guys that thinks, like, just because you write from the perspective of a racist character that you are racist.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that at all.
That's
Same
a weird
reason-
thing to believe in.
Yeah, it's very strange. But, like, some people are, like, banning Mark Twain books because they think he's a racist. So it's like,
What? First off, what the fuck?
yeah. I mean, like,
Really?
and
That's dumb.
it is silly, and it's like, Huck Finn is racist.
Second, he's dead, so who cares? Whether
Really,
he,
honestly,
you know.
like, who cares?
who
At
gives
this
a
point?
fuck if Martin was racist?
But
What are you gonna do? Cancel him on Twitter? He's dead. He doesn't give a shit.
yeah, and I mean, like, Huck Finn is a racist book. Huck Finn is a racist character.
Yeah.
But the point, but that's the point. You know what
read
I mean?
it. It's not.
It's rough.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Like, the whole ending of that book is like they're just terrorizing Jim. They're making him the sport of their game almost,
Mhm.
instead of, like, just helping him get away. But
Oh no.
but that's besides the point.
Damn Huckleberry.
Damn Huckleberry. But then he decides, I don't care. I'm gonna help my friend out. That's what he ends up deciding to do. And I think Huck Finn is a beautiful book in a lot of ways. It's not perfect. I think it's probably one of the great. It definitely is one of the great American works. Definitely one of the best things Americans have ever given to the world. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the what.
Nothing.
Are you okay?
It's like one of the great things that America has given to the world. I'm like, that and the war. You're welcome.
You're welcome, partner.
You're welcome, Europe. We'd all be speaking Kraut by now if it wasn't for us.
So I want to talk a little bit about the Iliad because, and I'll be brief on this one,
Cool.
but this is another work about a whole lot of rage and a whole lot of anger because Achilles,
Whole lot of Greek.
a whole lot of Greek. The first word in the book is rage.
You serious?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, not in this translation, but in most translation, rage is the first word, and I love that because the Iliad is often considered the beginning of Western canon, and I think it is because the Greeks kind of started everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the Romans copied it, which is fine.
Yeah, we copied, and then we copied them.
Yeah,
Just gonna
everybody's copying somebody.
Yep.
And unless you were,
Who's gonna copy us?
I don't know
Who knows?
who's going to copy this podcast. I
don't
hope
think
nobody.
Anybody wants to?
Yeah. But yeah, the first words in the book are rage, and Achilles is such a. And I was actually talking to a professor about this earlier today. Achilles is a complicated person because there are scenes of great, like, grace and, like, where he cries with other soldiers who and this is I'll get into this in a minute, but he cries with other soldiers about the losses they're suffering in Troy over something that a lot of them have nothing to do with, and it's really one of the first work in Western literature is largely a satire on war. It feels like. And it's a work of PTSD. Like, this book is the first account of, like, post-traumatic stress disorder because there's a great book that I'm working through alongside this called Achilles in Vietnam. And it's essentially this guy, this psychologist, he was listening to the testimonies of his patients from Vietnam, and he decided to go back and read all the books in college that he skipped, and the Iliad was one of them. And he was reading these accounts from the Iliad and then comparing them to his accounts from the Vietnam soldiers, and they were like night and day. It was
wow.
it was like identical, like what they were talking about, the loss and the the rage they felt, the betrayal they felt,
That's
and things like
crazy.
that. It's neat, and it's like it's ever since the Iliad, we in the West, at least in America specifically, have been obsessed with this idea of being so goddamn mad, like that we resort to the most extreme solutions to things. We're not gonna sit here and you're gonna fuck up if I say something mean to you or something. It's me and you are cool, so I could just be like, oh, I'm sorry, but like I'm sorry I said that.
You'd still get stabbed, but you could
Yeah,
definitely say you're sorry.
Yeah, I would die.
You would definitely.
But with some people, like, oh, excuse me, I don't know why I'm putting that back. With some, if you have a political disagreement, you can't even hash it out. You can't even be friends. Like me and Mark don't agree on everything. Certainly
Never
not.
will. You know what? I don't even know what we don't agree on. That's fine.
I'm not sure either, but I'm sure there is stuff. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into it one day.
He just growled at me. That's weird.
But the fact is that doesn't really matter because I see Mark for who he is. Like he is not the sum.
A dumb bitch.
Yeah. Well, no, I can. Excuse me.
Oh wow.
I do consider you.
Bless you.
I do consider you a good friend, even like one of my best friends. Even if we don't agree on everything, that's fine. My best friend who's up in Cincinnati, we don't agree on everything. But he's still my best friend. Shout out to Marcos.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is that I don't see people as the summation of their beliefs necessarily, because I know the beliefs
depends on their beliefs, brother.
I suppose, but at the same, beliefs can change, with more information.
Yes.
Because sometimes beliefs are
unless you're a Nazi, in which case, whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there are extremes in every case.
There are extremes, and I've even seen neo-Nazis like see the light and be like, "This is fucked up. What I'm doing," and turn away from it. There's this guy, I'm forgetting his name, but he's a black man, and he ran. He would like visit KKK meetings and like befriend KKK members and be like, why do you hate me and things like that.
I think I know. I think I've seen that before. I think I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name, but very interesting guy, and he he just went and like he turned a lot of them, and like made them
because most of them didn't have an answer, right?
Yeah, well, like that's the thing with like blind hatred is like you don't know why you hate a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just hate it. It's like, why? I don't know. I just do. I always have. Well, that's not an answer,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about in this Faulkner book in the Iliad. These characters are so goddamn mad about what?
Mm-hmm.
Achilles is mad at first because Agamemnon, the king's brother, the leader of the Greeks, basically, that are stationed in Troy. He took his woman, his prize rather, and this book does not treat women well. It's definitely not. You should definitely treat them as prizes. And that's a whole other can of worms. But the idea is that Achilles is first mad because his honor's broken, or he's got a blemish on his honor. He feels dishonored.
Prince Zuko.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you can see, and that's what, I guess that's kind of my point, is that these works that I enjoy reading, like, you can see their hands and everything else that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure my mom is sorry. Okay.
She thinks you're dead.
Okay.
I can cut that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna work on this tomorrow. And I don't want this to go on too long. Like, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but like, I want to read you a line that I really enjoyed.
Anger.
Rage. It was in
my honor.
Here it
is
is.
Gone.
There's a line in here. It's in book 9, line 39, I believe. Yeah. Well, it actually starts at line 37. The son of devious devising Kronos has given you gifts in 2 ways. With the scepter he gave you honor beyond all, but he did not give you a heart, and of all power this is the greatest. That's heavy shit.
That's pretty cool, actually. I
Like
like that a lot.
And there's also there's also this concept in the book of these characters fighting against all logic. Like, they will not win. The gods have said, you won't win. But they're still, a lot of the Greeks are like, no, we're going to keep fighting.
Fuck you, man.
Why? Like,
yeah.
it's just, it's insanity.
Poseidon, I respect your opinion, but, like, eat a dick, brother. I don't care.
Yeah, like, and there's this, there's a line further on that says, hold on. Here it is. Sir, can you really believe the sons of the Achaeans are so unwarlike and so weak of their hearts, as you call them? But if in truth your own heart is set upon going home, go. The way is there, and next to the water are standing your ships that came, so many of them, with you from Mycenae. I don't know how to pronounce all these Greek words. And yet the rest of the flowing-haired Achaeans will stay here until we have sacked the city of Troy. Let even these also run away with their ships to the beloved land of their fathers. Still, we two, Slenthalos and I, will fight till we witness the end of Ilion, which is Troy.
Gotcha.
For it was with God that we made our way hither. So they're just like, fuck it, we're going to stay here. I don't give a shit if we die.
Fuck it.
And last line I want to, and I think you'll like this one too. Last line I want to bring to your attention, because another point of me bringing these up is I hope people read them. Like I hope they find, are kind of inspired to pick these up. The next line I want to read is, but let me speak, since I can call myself older than you are, and go through the... No, I'm sorry, I need to restart a little bit.
God damn it.
Sorry. Yet you have not... This older guy... this guy Nestor, which Agamemnon has great respect for. After Diomedes basically says, we're not leaving, Nestor is talking to him because he's like, hey, you're kind of young, so he may not be like taking your word very seriously, so I'm gonna like back you up a little bit and be like, hey, this is what I think.
Yeah.
And he says, quote, yet you have not made complete your argument, since you are a young man still and could even be my own son, and my youngest born of all. Yet still you argue in wisdom with the Argive kings, since all you have spoken was spoken fairly. But let me speak, since I can call myself older than you are, and go through the whole matter, since there is none who can dishonor the thing I say, not even powerful Agamemnon. This is the line I really like. Out of all brotherhood, outlawed, homeless shall be that man who longs for all the horror of fighting among his own people. Wow.
That's deep shit, man.
Yeah, it's like, it's just littered with stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
This commentary on war.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And I love this use of the word outlawed, because when you think outlaws, I don't know, I think about cowboys.
You would.
Yeah. I think about cowboys, but it makes sense. Out of all brotherhood, outlawed, homeless shall be the man who longs for all the horror of fighting among his own people. What do outlaws do? They fight their countrymen. They rob and murder and steal from their own people. And because of that, they're outlaws and they're homeless. They don't have a home. Bastards. But yeah, that's a little bit. I hope you're picking up a common theme with what I'm saying here.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like, I don't want to say this feeling of like dread. Well, yeah.
Rage!
This feeling of rage and dread that just like, it's in a lot of works that I really enjoy, because I think it's such a fascinating...
Kind of this existential dread.
Yeah, and like it's forming itself, it's becoming rage.
Mm-hmm.
This just feeling of dread and lack of meaning is anthropomorphizing.
Holy fuck.
Anthropomorphic.
I think it's anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphizing?
Yeah,
Sick.
There you go. Is becoming I'm just gonna say becoming.
Yeah.
is becoming rage. This misunderstanding and not understanding life. But last thing I want to bring up, I was gonna bring up Shakespeare, but I mean I'll fucking go on for 3 hours. The last one I want to bring up is The Road.
Dead babies. Sorry.
Mark. That's true. Mark, I know you hate this book.
Think it's boring as fuck. Sorry, just in my opinion, buddy.
That's fine. But I do know you dislike this book.
20 chapters of, The Road, still gray. My son, he's still starving.
And, But this book touches on something. This is actually the most hopeful book, I think, of all of them, believe it or not. If you can believe it.
Jesus Christ.
There's a line in here. It's when I first started underlining shit in books because I was like, fuck, dude, that's heavy as shit. There's a part where they walk into a auto parts store, and there's a phone, and the line is, then he picked up the phone and dialed the number of his father's house, and that long ago, the boy watched him. What are you doing? He said. Just cuts. Like, there's no more dialogue about
Nothing
that.
to say.
Like, what can you say?
What is he doing? You know what he's doing.
Yeah. Like, the boy doesn't know.
No.
But the fact that the boy doesn't know makes it more heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And we as the readers know, like I could see myself in that situation, like, of having that much regret and that much, like, longing for the way things were, even if it wasn't perfect, that you do something desperate and, like, I don't want to say insane, but something that doesn't make any sense. Like, he knows the phone doesn't work, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's not the point. The point is like, you know, I used to do this, and now I can't anymore. That's one of my favorite lines of the book. I love that part. I love the whole book, to be honest with you. I love this whole book. I think it's basically, it's probably a perfect book. I'm comfortable saying that.
That's fair, man.
I'm comfortable saying that. There's a line where he says, old stories of courage and justice as he remembered them until the boy was asleep in his blankets, and then he stoked the fire and lay down warm and full and listened to the low thunder of the falls beyond them in that dark and threadbare wood. First of all, the amount of rhythm and just music of the language in Cormac McCarthy, I just think is phenomenal. I don't think there's a writer like him, in past or present. But it's, you know, talking about old stories of courage and justice. Hell, that could be the fucking Iliad. You know, you know, like,
you're right.
And just these, like, little moments in these books, man, that, like, just they really speak to me.
I need to start going through and rereading stuff and, like, you know, doing what you're doing and finding cool lines and, you know, marking them.
Right, and I'm only marking the lines that really touch me. You know,
That's why I wish that I didn't buy my comics online, because I want a physical copy I can mark it up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think, even though it's Transformers, I feel like we're still looking for the same kinds of things, but I'm looking for it in mediums that are more stomachable to me.
Yeah.
Because I hate it, because I know it sounds stupid, but there is some deep shit in Transformers, man.
No, I believe you.
It doesn't seem like it, but comics has more of, it can do more with its story. It doesn't have to appease to any certain group. So there's some deep, you know, like post-traumatic stress stuff and regret and war and the whole stuff you're talking about in these comics about big robots that, like, you know, they punch each other.
Yeah.
But it's really fucking deep shit, man.
Well, the panels you've sent me on Snapchat and Instagram and things like that, like, they're engaging.
They are engaging.
Like, I want to know what happens next. And you're right. It's just, it's these different mediums that people enjoy. You know, I'm not the biggest comic fan, I'm going to be honest. I like cartoons like Calvin and Hobbes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love Calvin and Hobbes. But, you know, a book like The Road or Absalom, or As I Lay Dying or The Iliad, you know, that speaks to me more on a primal level than, say, you, because
I like pictures.
Well, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. You know, having a visual is nice. Not even going to front. But, you know, as far as games go, like, I'm sure, I think we kind of form up more on the same side when, in terms of games, you know. We don't really, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we really care for multiplayer games as much as single-player games, like Spider-Man.
This is true. Although, you've dropped a lot of time in, like, Black Ops 4, man.
Well, I mean...
I've dropped a lot of time.
Well,
I've gotten SMG's diamond. I've gotten the light machine guns diamond. I'm working on assault rifles right now.
I guess what I mean is that when we're looking for something...
When we're considering a game, I just interrupted you to fuck
no,
up.
No,
this
no,
is
no.
bad.
No.
Like, when we look for a game, we're looking not just for an enjoyable experience, but like a narrative that we can follow and, like, enjoy. You know, like, more a story we can agree with in terms of its themes and its character and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I love Destiny. Like, it's not a good game, but I love the world and the story as shit as it is. It's fun to me, you know?
Right. And I don't want to disparage, things people like. Somebody could be listening to this, and be like, "Dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about."
That's fair,
I
brother.
don't give a shit, and that's fine.
That's fair.
This doesn't have to mean these lines I've shared with you from these books. Like, they don't have to mean anything to you. The point of this podcast was to tell you why they meant something to me.
Hey, these are our opinions.
Yeah.
You don't gotta like them.
Yeah.
But here they are.
Here they are. But I kind of want it to be a little bit deeper than just my opinion. Like I wanted to explain how these works. Like these works I recognize I read and enjoy, but I wanted to understand why, and I think I have figured it out, at least somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot to do with these moments that just hit me to the core, like they just mean so much to me.
What's our time at right now?
Hour 45.
Okay.
So we're gonna cut this off in about 5 minutes.
Think we'll go to like 2, maybe?
I wouldn't, because I feel like someone's gonna walk in here and be like, "Hey."
It's already 4:20 though.
I know, that's why I'm thinking that if
Gotcha.
they're gonna come,
Okay.
they're gonna be here. So I kind of wanna.
But
But we're at a good time.
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do with this podcast. And
Yep.
I think we succeeded at least a little bit. This is our, like I said, this is kind of our soft reboot a little bit, and we want to put this on some like more.
The only difference is there's going to be no Camaro at the end of this one, so
No Camaro.
no
Definitely not.
no.
Definitely not.
no connection to the old world at all.
Yeah, none at all. Oh, I get it.
No, thanks, brother. God damn it.
I mean, I got it, but I realized I didn't give you the reaction you wanted.
No,
yeah, it took me.
I didn't really expect a reaction. It was more for me than anything. Just my rage.
There is a definite through line that we're gonna keep.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be this.
That was loud.
It's still gonna be, hopefully, what you love, at least what you know, and what we know. I think our discussions have gotten better. Since we started doing it
yeah,
again.
definitely.
And
that mainly is, sorry if I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
As I think it's mainly has to do with us being more comfortable with talking not just to each other, but with this as a medium.
Yeah.
Because it is weird to start out with. It is very strange. But you get into it.
And I still think there's some like awkward moments of like just not knowing where to carry the conversation next, or like not like you want to say something but you don't know how to formulate it quite yet.
And then someone makes a dick joke and we move on, and that thought is gone.
Exactly.
Yup.
And it's a great medium. I love this medium, and we're not great at it, but I think we're pretty good at it. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting somewhere with this. But yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes next, Mark.
Hell yeah.
I'm very excited.
Very excited, brother.
So yeah, I just formally want to tell you guys we're
gonna give it our best. We're
We're
gonna give it
gonna-
our best.
gonna give it our best, and I hope you stick along for the ride, because
What's it called? Fuck it, I forgot. Sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. And
Give it the old college try. That's what it's called.
There you go.
I got it. Bringing it back.
And I hope this episode is giving you a little bit more insight into what me and Mark kind of look for when we're looking at a piece of fiction.
Dude, this whole episode was like, man, Power Rangers kind of cool. That's me, and you had some actual good shit.
That's not true. That's not true. I understand Power Rangers more than I ever have since I met you. So, and I have a better respect for mediums I didn't really care for before I met you. So
like comic books,
like comics, and like I want to say Marvel movies. I still have a problem with those, but like
that's fine.
And I never disliked them. It's just I have problems with them, but I've gone over that ad nauseum.
Just before you go, Dre wants me to tell you hi.
Hey, Dre, how you doing, partner?
I'm talking to him. And he asked, what I'm doing. I said, I'm on the podcast. He's like, with who? I'm like, it's just me and Kyle. He's like, well, tell him I said hi.
Hey
Record
there.
it so I know. You know now, Dre. We're doing it.
What's up, Dre? How you doing, man? We miss you. We want you back on. You were a great guest, man.
You all right? I'm kidding, brother.
What?
No, I said he was okay.
No.
He's going to be pissed when he hears that.
Yeah, maybe just
right.
a little bit.
No, and I sorry, I keep putting
No,
you off.
you're good.
I asked you what time we're at because I wanted to get more into the comic Transformers stuff. If that's
We
cool.
can save it for next week.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Plus, we're gonna have to actually listen to this and edit it. So I don't.
I think I'm gonna listen to this when I work out because I'm going to the gym after this. I might
Okay.
just give it a quick listen.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Next week, we're probably gonna have Bo and AJ on.
Maybe.
Okay, guys, thank you very much.
I'm a Nazi. Fucking, we gotta cut it
God
again.
damn it. We gotta get out of here. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much.
Hey, for the cold open next week, you're gonna pick the film for us this time. The little segment. That's all you, brother.
Yeah, and if you guys like feel the need to comment, like tell us what you think of that. I think it's fun. I enjoy it. I kind of want to make them like they're getting longer, and I wanted to be.
They
even
need
longer.
to get longer.
Like I want a whole episode once of just an entire scene. I think it'd be fun as fuck.
That would be fun as fuck.
But yeah, so for the 9,000th time, thank you guys.
No more cutting. This is it.
And we will see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
I love you.